Hi guys, non-stop recaps here. Today I will recap a movie called Romance Doll. Spoiler alert. At the beginning of the story we are shown a couple who just did a study too. It's just starting to be like this. And the film begins. 10 years ago there was a man who was looking for an address at the doll-making place. And while he was peeking from the outside, suddenly there was a mother who reprimanded him, and it turned out that this man was named Tetsuo. He comes because he was told by Kato, and when Tetsuo arrives inside, he is introduced to a senior worker named Ika. After introducing each other, Ika tells Tetsuo that he wants to make the perfect doll. And after that he introduced all the dolls of his creation. Ika was still not satisfied with the results. He also said the doll he created was still not perfect. Then since moved on while Tetsuo and Ika were discussing how to make the doll look more real. And Tetsuo also has the idea that he wants to use the original model, but he was confused as to how to explain it. Then Aikawa had the idea to make breast implants using medical. Then since moved while Aikawa and Tetsuo were wearing medical clothes, so that they can convince the model that they are aiming to make an implant. And a model comes along. Her name is Ozawa Sonoko. When Ozawa is ready to be used as a model, Tetsuo then makes implants on his body, and when everything has been completed, Ozawa also left the place. But the Ozawa earrings are left behind and Tetsuo intends to return them. Then Tetsuo goes to see Ozawa and gives her earrings. Tetsuo suddenly declares that he likes Ozawa and Ozawa accepts it. Long story short, Tetsuo and Ozawa held a wedding. And day by day Tetsuo and Ozawa are full of happiness. One day while at the factory, Tetsuo asks where Ika, because it looks like Ika didn't come to work. Then one of his co-workers said that Ika lost pachinko, and went to sleep. Then his female co-worker intends to check the state of Ika. After a while, Tetsuo gets a call from his female co-worker and he tells her that he has died. Then after the funeral was over, as usual Tetsuo worked hard to make a more real doll alone. Then his female co-worker introduces a new employee named Morizumi to help with the work of the woman. Long story short, Morizumi always helps every job Tetsuo. After a few days it turned out that Morizumi was betrayed, and took all the data of the doll manufacturer. A few days later, Tetsuo is seen playing the game and he meets a woman. They play on karaoke together. After it's all over, when Tetsuo comes home and when he gets home, he finds a letter from his wife, that she went to her father's house because her father was sick. After a few days Tetsuo gets a call from Ozawa's mother and Tetsuo asks how Ozawa's father and Ozawa's mother say he's fine. Tetsuo is shocked because he knows that Ozawa's father is sick and Ozawa intends to take care of his father. After 3 days have passed, Ozawa comes home drunk and he is taken by his male friend. Then Tetsuo asks what they're doing and Ozawa's friend replies that there's a class reunion. Then after Ozawa is a little aware, Tetsuo asks one-on-one to Ozawa what he's been doing for these 3 days. And Ozawa tells Tetsuo to give him a week to answer. A week passed, Ozawa and Tetsuo finally honest at each other that they were both having an affair with each other. Ozawa intends to divorce Tetsuo. The next day Tetsuo is seen forcing Ozawa to tell the truth. And finally Ozawa said that he had cancer. Ozawa also said that the 3 days he did not come home because he was hospitalized and had to be operated on because of his cancer. Ozawa then left the house and headed to the hospital. Arriving at the hospital suddenly Tetsuo comes and wants to accompany Ozawa. The days passed after Ozawa was operated on. And long story short, at night Ozawa said to Tetsuo that he wants to make a doll out of his own body. And Ozawa also says that he wants to have sex every day. Long story short, after they have sex, finally, Tetsuo intends to make a doll from Ozawa's body. And in the morning they both had sex again. But unfortunately, when Ozawa reaches its climax, she dies instead in a state of women on top. This scene is the same as the one at the beginning of the film, and a few days passed. Finally Tetsuo finished making his wife's doll. Then the doll was marketed and the sale of the doll was almost 100 units sold out. They are also increasingly eager to make a new doll, and after all the items are delivered, suddenly come the police because they sell vulgar goods. And the one responsible for everything is the director of the doll company. The director was immediately arrested by the police. Before leaving, the director also told Tetsuo that he would be back in 3 days' time. After 3 days had passed, the director was free and they partied. At night Tetsuo intends to get in touch with the doll he has made. And in the morning, Tetsuo was seen on the beach looking at a doll that had been damaged and the film ended.